Whenever I order from Zomato, I don't get cutleries, and the chances are very high that you don't get it either. But क्या ये मेरी गलती है?
नहीं भाई मेरी गलती है।
नहीं मेरी गलती है। नहीं बाबा नहीं मेरी गलती है।
But that doesn't happen with just Zomato either. But does this stay to very simple things like not getting the cutlery, or does this go beyond that? Let's look at this in this video. It relates to a very interesting study by Eric Johnson and Daniel Goldstein about organ donation. Just look at this graph where they have plotted the percentage of people who have pledged their organs versus their respective countries. So if you look at the countries on the right, which is Australia, Belgium, France, Hungary, Poland, Portugal, Sweden, they have a very high percentage of people pledging their organs. But if you look at the countries on the left, which is Denmark, Netherlands, United Kingdom and Germany, they have very low pledge from the people compared to the countries on the right. But the question is, why is that the case? People often think it's about behavior, religion, culture, and how people perceive organ donation as in general. But it's very far from the truth. Before I tell you the reason of this high number of people pledging their organs, let's talk about the anomaly, the 28% on Netherlands, and why is that the case? Netherlands also had very small amount of people actually pledging their organs. So what the government started doing is they started sending letters to people's houses and started begging them to pledge their organs. But you know, begging can only take you so far, and in this case it's 28%. So why there is such a huge difference in the number of people actually donated in these countries? It all comes down to a simple form at DMV, the body that issues you the license to drive, something like RTO in India. So here's what they do. So if you see the form in the countries where you have lower rates, you will see they have taking the opt-in, which is check the box below if you want to participate in the organ donor program. Whereas countries on the right side, they have made a small change, the sneaky change here, which is check the box below if you don't want to participate in organ donation program. This minor change actually causes people to opt for this even if they do not fill anything into it. In all these countries, you have to opt out instead of opting in. In case of organ donation, we couldn't care less because we'll be dead by then. But does it affect our everyday life as well? That's the big question that we're asking here. Before telling you how companies use this to influence our day-to-day decisions, let me tell you about another study. So this is an experiment that scientists did at Yale University where they had two classrooms. For the students in first classroom, they gave them a choice, do you want a black pen or a blue pen? Almost 50% of the people chose the black pen and 50% chose the blue pen. But in the other classroom, they actually gave everyone a black pen, and later on they asked them if they want to change it for a blue pen. Guess what? Only 10% of the people actually chose to change it for a blue pen. But the question is, why is that? All of this relates to this idea of power of defaults. And all the options by default is actually designed in a way so that you will keep falling for these. It says that people are lazy. So for trivial things, they will go with the first option that they will get when given a choice. A lot of brands have been using this, and they have been using something called as nudge, which is giving something to the people that differentiates one option over the other, or just pre-selecting the option. The nudges can be created by adding a popular tag, trending tag, highlighting the savings and things like that. The companies actually do it for two reasons. Number one, the profit. So they choose the default option for the people which are slightly higher price but also gives a little more value to the users. And since they choose the option by default, people are less likely to change that. And even if they want to, they just look at the comparison, or they fall for the decoy effect where the price of the next item and comparing it with that, it feels like a steal deal. Companies can nudge you by selecting a faster shipping, a higher add-on, or something on top of it to nudge your decision. This is obviously valuable for the company because they end up making more money. They are suggesting you something which is of high value and charging you more money for it. The other example could be the Swiggy one. So they auto select the one with higher value, and obviously they highlight it by mentioning the how much it is going to cost you per month. The second is this example from Medium where they make the upgrade button all solid to nudge you to choose for a 12-month membership instead of just taking it on a monthly basis. The next example is Urban Company, which does not select the option, but they nudge you by telling you how many people are already taking this and which one is the popular option over here. This is just how power of defaults work, and most people don't make a change, or whenever they think of making a change, they fall for the decoy effect. Pause the video and let me know in the comments where else have you seen power of defaults in play. I'm waiting for it. Go below, type it in the comments. The second reasons companies use it quite a lot is to help the customers. Because if you pre-select the things, customers have lesser decisions to make. Think about if you are planning to order food and you have to select everything from scratch. These will be a lot of decisions to make, and products actually solve this by using the power of defaults. So it helps the customer until it doesn't. In case of Zomato, as I was talking about it, if you want to get cutleries, there is an option for it. But read the wording. It says, don't send cutlery with this order and is auto-selected by default. So every time I have to get the cutlery, I have to go there and manually deselect it. But keeping this in mind every single time before placing the order, and I'm a power user, I order 20-30 times a week. Keeping this every time in the mind is very difficult. So I end up not getting it at all, which bothers me. But the question is, how can you use it in your designs and do it morally so that it helps the customers? So sharing the 3 ways you can use it in your designs and help the customers. I just want to mention this, that I only recommend using this in customers' favor, and do not use any dark patterns or sell something that people would not want to buy and they might move to your competitor. Number 1, you can pre-select the things. So if you think that something is of higher value and you are about to give a customer a choice, then select the one with higher value and something that the customers will find valuable as well. Whether you are giving an option to get it faster by paying a few extra bucks, or you are selling the subscription where the half yearly or annual price is way better than getting it for a monthly price. So you can select the box by default so that it helps the user decide which is more valuable for them. Moving on to the point number 2, make the default option or make the option that is helpful to them more prominent. By making things more visually apparent, you are making it easier for the customers to make a choice, and the things are more likely to get chosen by the customers. The third way of doing it, by adding a badge against it, which could be popular, trending, bestseller, etc. This is also known as priming. Priming is used to influence users' decision by giving them small visual or verbal cues, and if you do that, people are more likely to choose the option. So you can use these nudges and use the priming to influence users' decisions. If you are interested in learning how UX can influence users' decision for good, you should definitely check this video out on UX laws. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. This is all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, happy designing.